Okay, let's try this for the last and final time, since phone records fine till I make this video. So, seems like someone doesn't want me to make the video. But yesterday, I flew from Halifax to Toronto and went through airport security. This time, for the first time, as, very obviously a man versus, prepubescent boy, argumentative, maybe androgynous, or you can kind of guess my gender, versus now it's, good luck. And it actually went a lot different than the rest of the times. So I went through the metal scanner, which is, I didn't beep, because I don't, but I was randomly selected, like I always am, and I was prepared. I even prepared myself with binding. I kind of smushed everything together because I heard air pocket set it off. So that didn't actually help, by the way. It highlighted my chest area again. And I actually did put my packer away in my backpack beforehand because I knew that would be an extra issue, and I don't feel like showing them my dick or explaining it. So I don't go through security packing, but I will bind because I can't deal with those 5 minutes. It's just a mess. And I hand the guy my ID. Since I was flying domestically, they didn't need a passport, which is nice since it actually shows I'm a citizen. Well, I'm not, but that I live in the country, so I think that helps. And then my image actually looks like me, just as like a baby. And I came out and he's like, okay, I realize this name says birth name, and he's basically like, without saying that I'm trans, is like, you're trans, right? And I'm like, and he said, yeah, so you can choose who pats you down. And I said, you can pat me down. I am a dude. Dudes can pat me down. For nobody pat me down, but I also don't actually care who pats me down. It's awkward either way. But he just very quickly went like this. And it was fine, but I've noticed they must clearly now have sensitivity training, because he was like super quick, super casual about it. It wasn't a big deal. I was out of there right away. And he was like an old white dude. So, that's pretty cool. Obviously, they're becoming aware that we're flying and that we want to get out of there as quick as possible, and that we're not a threat to security. At least most of us aren't. Haven't heard of her trans terrorists yet, but I'm sure there are some, or there will be some. Don't become a terrorist. It's horrible. And you're a horrible person. But either way, it's great because beforehand, security has always been an issue. I've flown since coming out, especially internationally. I've flown to New York, and TSA is rough. There's one guy who just went like this. The second dude was better. He at least announced, okay, I'm gonna have to touch you, but they have to use the back of the hands, which the first guy didn't. He went like this, and without warning. And I was flying with the school, and I didn't really know what to do. It was the first time since cutting my hair and stuff. But also in Germany and stuff, it's always been fine. I mean, scanners always get set off, and they're kind of giving me weird looks. I've shown them my binder before. It's like, hey, I'm wearing a binder, or compression shirt, I usually call it, and they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense why it got set off, type thing. There was one instance where I was flying with my parents, and since my mom is still in denial and everything, same with the soccer stadium, because in Europe you go through security with soccer stadium, and it was just because I was gonna let a dude pat me down because they read me as male, and honestly, I'd give it to him. And actually that's, actually my identity, so it's better technically if a dude does it. Not that I care, but whatever. And my mom kind of made me be patted down by a woman for the soccer stadium, and they were going through security when I got pat down by a dude, and like I didn't stop or anything. My mom just gave me a look, but I mean, people are gonna pat you down. Who cares who, honestly? I don't care. If you care, that's totally cool. Like, you have the right to care, and you know, you have the right to choose when you're trans, which is interesting. Because we get like an extra choice now, which cis people don't. Maybe it was also just in case I was non-binary, because then like, pick a gender. I don't know, but sensitivity training is here, at least in Canada, and it was, although it was awkward, it was a lot more relaxing, and it's cool that they have training now, and I think it's going to make it easier for us in the future. And also, they barely looked at my passport, except for the one guy when I was in the security scanner. So honestly, they don't really care about your appearance matching your gender marker anymore, which is great, because a couple of years ago, Canada had a rule where if your sex didn't match your appearance, you could be denied to board. But clearly, I mean, I never had the issue, but I was worried even when I flew in November. Although I was a month on T, there wasn't much going on, but this dude even commented on my facial hair before seeing my ID and stuff, and I was like, oh, you have some nice fuss going on, you know. So I don't know, I think things are becoming better and everyone's a lot more chill, and that's cool. So hope you haven't had horrible experiences. Don't be scared to fly. Flying itself is safe, and security is warming up. And if you had a bad experience a couple of years ago, they're obviously getting more training now, so it will hopefully be good now. Thank you for watching. Stay awesome. Bye.